Have you ever looked into her eyes and thought she was the one, only to wake up one day buried under emotional chaos, manipulation, and the kind of toxic drama that made you question your sanity? What if you could spot the signs of destruction before they wreck your life? Today, you're not just learning about relationships, you're gaining the wisdom that will protect your peace, your future, and your masculinity. If you're ready to spot the red flags and never fall into the same trap again, drop this in the comments. I'm ready. Trust me, you don't want to miss a second of this. You are not here by accident. Most men never realize that the women they choose can either build them into kings or break them down to nothing. But you're different. You're here because you refuse to settle for anything less than a life filled with peace, growth, and power. Today, you'll learn what others are too afraid to talk about. The truth about modern relationships. 6 signs of a woman who will drain your soul, destroy your ambition, and leave you wondering where the man you used to be has gone. This isn't about hate, it's about survival. Women who embody these traits aren't just mistakes, they're obstacles to your destiny. Men who fail to recognize this waste years, sometimes decades, trying to fix what can't be fixed, but not you, not anymore. Every warning sign I'm about to reveal isn't just about avoiding heartbreak, it's about reclaiming your masculinity, standing tall, and living life on your terms. Listen closely, because one of these signs could save you from a lifetime of regret. Stay until the end and learn the difference between a woman who nurtures you and one who burns your world down. Number 1, she thrives on drama. Drama isn't always loud. It doesn't always start with yelling or accusations. Sometimes it creeps in through subtle complaints, passive-aggressive remarks, and sudden mood shifts that leave you questioning your every move. At first you think it's just her being emotional. You convince yourself that women are naturally more expressive. But over time, the pattern becomes clear. She doesn't just have emotions, she weaponizes them. And the truth is, this kind of woman isn't looking for solutions. She's looking for reasons to keep the chaos alive, because without it, she has nothing to hold on to. This is why men need to understand that drama is more than an inconvenience. It's a warning sign that you're dealing with someone who lacks emotional control. She creates conflicts because deep down, she's empty without them. You'll find yourself being dragged into arguments that start over nothing, a misunderstood text, a forgotten date, or a glance she interprets as disinterest. But it's never about the issue, it's about control. If she can keep you in a state of emotional confusion, she can keep you under her thumb. The most dangerous part is that this chaos isn't contained. It spills over into every aspect of your life. You'll start to notice that your work performance is slipping because you're mentally drained from last night's 3-hour argument over why you didn't respond the right way. Your friends will begin to distance themselves because they're tired of hearing you talk about your relationship problems. And slowly but surely, you'll start to lose the very things that once defined you: your ambition, your confidence, and your ability to think clearly. The Stoics understood that a man's greatest weapon is his mind. But what happens when your mind is constantly under attack? A woman who thrives on drama doesn't just disrupt your day, she rewires your brain to prioritize her chaos over your own peace. You'll become addicted to the highs and lows, mistaking the moments of calm for love and the arguments for passion. But let me be clear, there's nothing passionate about being emotionally abused. You can't fix this kind of woman. You can't love her into stability or sacrifice your sanity to prove your loyalty. The more you try to appease her, the more she'll escalate. She feeds off your efforts, using them as fuel for her next outburst. It hurts to admit that the woman you once saw as your future is now the reason your life is falling apart. But you're different. You have the courage to walk away before the damage becomes permanent. A man who values his peace understands that leaving isn't a sign of weakness. It's an act of survival. You owe it to yourself to break free from her cycle of chaos. And when you do, you'll realize that the world is quieter, your mind is sharper, and your purpose is clearer. Don't let her emotional storms drown you. Walk away and rebuild your life without the weight of her drama dragging you down. Number 2, she can't take responsibility. A woman who can't take responsibility is a ticking time bomb waiting to explode, and the shrapnel will be aimed directly at you. In the beginning, she might seem playful about her mistakes. She'll giggle when she forgets your plans, or joke about how clumsy she is when she breaks something important. But over time, those little quirks will evolve into a pattern of avoidance. And when things go wrong, and they will, she won't just avoid accountability, she'll pin the blame on you. You'll hear phrases like, "If you had reminded me, this wouldn't have happened," or "I only did it because you made me feel that way." At first, you'll try to brush it off, thinking that maybe she's just having a bad day. But the truth is, this isn't temporary. This is who she is, a woman who refuses to look in the mirror because what she sees terrifies her. She's built a life around escaping consequences, and now you're her escape route. The problem with this dynamic is that it doesn't just damage the relationship, it damages you. You'll start questioning your own judgment, wondering if maybe you could have done more to prevent her mistakes. You'll replay arguments in your head, trying to figure out where you went wrong, when in reality, you were never wrong to begin with. But the longer you stay, the more you'll internalize her blame until it becomes your burden to carry. Men who fall into this trap often lose themselves in the process. They become over-apologetic, constantly seeking ways to be better for a woman who isn't willing to do the same. You'll bend over backward to accommodate her flaws, only to find that no amount of effort is ever enough. She'll keep moving the goalpost, setting you up for failure so she can avoid confronting her own shortcomings. The Stoics taught that responsibility is the foundation of personal growth. Without it, there can be no progress, no learning, and no success. A woman who can't take responsibility for her actions is a woman who will never grow. And if she's not growing, she's holding you back. Think about that for a moment. Every time you forgive her without accountability, you're stunting your own growth. Every time you let her off the hook, you're putting your future on hold. You're not just sacrificing your present, you're sacrificing the man you could become. The most painful part is realizing that you can't force someone to grow. You can't make her see the damage she's causing, and you can't carry her burden while trying to build your own life. At some point, you have to decide whether you're willing to drown alongside her or swim to safety. And here's the truth. Most men drown because they think saving her is their duty. But saving yourself is the ultimate act of manhood. Walking away from a woman who refuses to change isn't selfish. It's self-preservation. You have goals, dreams, and ambitions that deserve your attention. Don't waste them on someone who's too blind to see her own flaws. When you walk away, you're not just leaving her behind. You're reclaiming your power, your purpose, and your potential. And trust me, there's no greater victory than that. Number 3, she values materialism over character. She walks into your life radiant, confident, and seemingly interested in you as a man. At first, she's appreciative of the small things, how you listen, how you treat her, how you're different from other men. But give it time. Slowly, the gifts you bought her out of kindness become her expectation. What started as gratitude morphs into entitlement. She expects luxury, not loyalty. She values designer bags more than she values emotional depth. If she's not flaunting what you've bought her on Instagram, she's unsatisfied. This isn't love, it's a business transaction, and you're footing the bill. She sees relationships as an investment, not in mutual growth, but in how much she can extract from you. And men who don't understand this trap will fall hard, thinking that giving more will secure her love. But what you don't see is that she isn't attached to you. She's attached to the lifestyle you provide. The moment you take it away, her affection will disappear faster than the money you spent trying to win her over. The problem is that many men have been conditioned to believe that providing financially is the ultimate proof of love. You think if you spoil her, she'll see your worth. But here's the truth. A woman who values materialism doesn't care about your worth. She cares about your wallet. The moment your income dips, so does her love. And when you're left emotionally and financially drained, she'll move on to the next man who can keep her world filled with luxury. A woman who values materialism over character doesn't care about who you are. She only cares about what you can do for her. She may dress it up as ambition, telling you she just has high standards, but don't be fooled. High standards rooted in character are admirable. High standards rooted in materialism are destructive. Men often mistake this desire for high standards as a sign of class or refinement, but in reality, it's a mask for selfishness. And the moment you can't maintain the facade, she'll drop you like a bad investment. When she prioritizes what you can give her over what you can build together, you're nothing more than a stepping stone in her personal climb to luxury. And let's be clear, she won't stop climbing. If another man offers her a higher pedestal, she won't think twice before abandoning you. You'll be left wondering what went wrong, blaming yourself for not being enough, when the truth is, you were always enough. She just never valued anything that couldn't be displayed to the world. The pain of realizing you were never truly loved hits hard. You start to reflect on the time, effort, and money you poured into someone who only saw you as a means to an end. But here's the most important lesson. Your worth as a man is never determined by what you can buy for a woman. It's determined by your character, your integrity, and your vision. A woman who can't see that doesn't deserve you. Men need to understand that providing for someone isn't just about money. It's about emotional security, loyalty, and mutual growth. And a woman who reduces you to a paycheck isn't someone you can grow with. She's someone who will drain you. When the Stoics taught that external possessions are fleeting, they weren't warning about poverty. They were warning about attaching your self-worth to things outside of your control. And nothing is more outside your control than a woman who values your bank account over your heart. Walk away. You can always rebuild your finances, but the time wasted on a woman who doesn't see your true worth is gone forever. Protect your future. Choose wisely. Number 4, she uses emotional manipulation. This is the type of woman who will make you question your own reality. One day she's soft, loving, and supportive, and the next she's distant, cold, or upset without explanation. You'll find yourself constantly asking, "What did I do wrong?" And that's exactly what she wants. Emotional manipulators thrive on confusion because it gives them control. The more confused you are, the more power she has. And the scary part is, it works. Good men, strong men, even highly intelligent men fall victim to this trap because they think they can fix the relationship. The most effective form of manipulation isn't obvious, it's subtle. She'll cry when you try to hold her accountable. She'll accuse you of being too harsh when you call her out on her behavior. She'll play the victim so convincingly that you'll start to believe her version of events, even when you know deep down that you're being deceived. This isn't love. This is warfare. And the battlefield is your mind. Emotional manipulators know how to exploit your kindness, and they'll use your empathy as a weapon against you. She'll say things like, "I thought you loved me," or "How can you hurt me like this?" to make you feel guilty for standing your ground. But love doesn't demand that you sacrifice your self-respect. The moment you compromise your boundaries to avoid upsetting her, you've given her control. Here's what many men don't understand. Love should never come at the cost of your sanity. The moment you feel like you're walking on eggshells, afraid to speak your mind or express your needs, you're no longer in a relationship, you're in a mental prison, and that prison only gets smaller the longer you stay. You'll shrink yourself, censor yourself, and lose yourself, all in the name of keeping her happy. But the truth is, she'll never be happy because her happiness is rooted in control, not connection. A man who stays in this type of relationship will lose more than just his peace of mind. He'll lose his identity, his confidence, and eventually, his purpose. The Stoics taught that freedom is the ultimate goal of any man's life. But freedom isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional. A man who is enslaved by a manipulative partner will never reach his full potential because he's too busy fighting battles that aren't his to fight. The solution isn't to win her over or prove your loyalty. The solution is to leave. Walking away from a woman who manipulates you isn't a failure, it's a victory. It's a declaration that you value your peace, your mind, and your future more than her emotional games. You're not weak for leaving. You're strong for recognizing the trap and choosing to free yourself. Once you walk away, you'll realize how much lighter life feels without the constant burden of her manipulation weighing you down. You owe it to yourself to protect your mind, your peace, and your purpose. The right woman won't need to manipulate you to get what she wants. She'll grow with you, not control you. Let go of the woman who keeps you chained to her emotional chaos, and you'll unlock the freedom to become the man you were always meant to be. Number 5. She's obsessed with image and social validation. She's not building a life with you. She's building an audience, and you're just part of the show. At first, her obsession with taking selfies, posting updates, and sharing intimate moments online might seem harmless. You'll think it's cute, maybe even flattering that she wants to show you off. But eventually, you'll realize that her life isn't about living. It's about being seen. She craves attention, and it's never enough. No matter how much you validate her in private, she needs the approval of strangers. Her worth is tied to likes, comments, and social validation, and this addiction to external approval will drain you. You'll notice that she spends more time curating her online presence than investing in your actual relationship. Arguments will arise when you don't like her posts fast enough, or when you suggest putting the phone down during dinner. But it's not about the phone, it's about control. She needs the world to see her as desirable, successful, and happy, even if the reality is far from it. The longer you stay, the more you'll feel like you're in competition with her followers. And let's be honest, no man should ever have to compete for his woman's attention. If she can't prioritize the man who's building a future with her over the opinions of strangers scrolling through her feed, she's not the woman for you. But don't be fooled into thinking her need for social validation is just a phase. For many women, this addiction runs deep. They've been conditioned to measure their self-worth through external validation since they were teenagers. Social media is designed to trigger dopamine spikes, and she's addicted to the rush of being seen and admired. The more attention she gets online, the more disconnected she becomes in real life. Here's where men make a critical mistake. They think they can love her out of this obsession. They think if they give her enough attention, she'll finally feel secure and won't need the validation of others. But that's not how it works. Her need for external approval isn't a void you can fill, it's a black hole. No matter how much you pour into her, she'll always crave more. And the more you try, the more exhausted you'll become. The Stoics believed in the power of internal validation, finding peace within oneself and not relying on others to feel complete. A woman who can't find peace without external validation will never find it in you either. You'll spend years trying to prove your worth to her, only to discover that she was never looking for you. She was looking for an audience. If you want to build a meaningful relationship, choose a woman who values intimacy over exposure. Choose someone who's more interested in what happens between you two behind closed doors than in what her followers think of your relationship. Because the truth is, a woman who lives for likes will never truly see you. She'll only see what you can do for her image. Number 6, she fears growth and wisdom. A woman who fears growth will disguise her stagnation as being content with life. She'll tell you that you're too serious, that you overthink, that you should just live in the moment. But what she's really saying is that your growth threatens her comfort. She doesn't want a man who challenges her to be better because it forces her to confront the fact that she isn't evolving. And the painful truth is, she'll try to hold you back so she can stay where she feels safe, unchallenged, stagnant, and in control. When you talk about future plans, career ambitions, or personal development, she'll change the subject or dismiss you as too intense. If you suggest reading books or taking courses together, she'll laugh it off as boring or unnecessary. Over time, you'll notice that every time you try to improve yourself, she feels the need to bring you back down to her level. And if you're not careful, you'll start to believe her. This is where many men lose their way. They sacrifice their growth for the sake of peace in the relationship. They convince themselves that it's better to avoid conflict than to pursue their dreams. But here's the hard truth. A man who stops growing for a woman is a man who betrays himself. You weren't put on this earth to stay the same. You were born to evolve, to achieve, and to leave a legacy. The Stoics believed that life is a journey of constant self-improvement, and any relationship that hinders that journey is a threat to your purpose. A woman who fears growth will never support your dreams because your success exposes her failures. She'll see your progress as a reminder of everything she isn't, and that's a hard pill for her to swallow. Instead of cheering you on, she'll sabotage your efforts subtly. She'll make you feel guilty for working late. She'll accuse you of changing when you try to improve your habits. She'll say things like, "You used to be more fun," implying that your growth is a problem. It hurts to walk away from someone you care about, but it hurts more to wake up one day and realize you've wasted years being stagnant because you chose the wrong partner. The right woman will grow with you, not compete with you. She'll inspire you, not resent you. And if she isn't willing to grow, then she's dead weight pulling you down. Men need to understand that love isn't enough. Compatibility is about more than attraction. It's about alignment. If your values, goals, and vision for the future don't align, no amount of love will bridge that gap. You can't force someone to evolve if they're committed to staying the same. And you can't build a future with someone who's stuck in the past. The greatest tragedy is watching a man with potential give it all up because he chose a woman who was afraid to evolve. Don't let that be your story. Choose a woman who embraces growth, who challenges you to be better, and who walks beside you on the path to greatness. Because a man who's constantly growing is unstoppable, but only if he chooses the right woman to grow with him. You've just heard the hard truths that most men will never confront. The women you allow into your life will either elevate you or destroy you. There is no middle ground. Ignoring these 6 warning signs isn't just a mistake. It's a death sentence for your peace, your success, and your identity as a man. The men who fail to see this drown in chaos, blame, and regret. But you're no longer blind. You have the knowledge now, and knowledge is power. You're the man who can walk away when a relationship turns into a battlefield, who can demand peace over conflict, growth over stagnation, and respect over manipulation. You've seen enough chaos. Now it's time to create the life you've always wanted. Never forget, a woman who brings drama isn't worth the destruction she leaves behind. A woman who won't take responsibility will make you pay for her mistakes. And a woman who values materialism over character will abandon you the moment you're no longer useful. But a man who knows the truth, he's untouchable, he's unbreakable, he's unstoppable. Drop "I'm building my empire" in the comments if you're ready to cut out the distractions and protect your purpose. The future you want begins today. Subscribe to the channel. You're not just supporting this message, you're making sure it reaches every man who needs to hear it. Every like, every comment, every share pushes this content further, helping more men escape the traps of toxic relationships. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share this video with a brother who's still fighting battles he doesn't even realize he's in. Your journey starts here. Remember, a man who sees the signs is a man who controls his destiny.